Another highly important constitutional case is State against Dosso, a judgment which can be criticized of taking a very literal approach of law by framing a martial law as legal. What basically happened in this case was that a murder was committed by Dosso in the Lorlai district of Balochistan, after which the tribal authorities handed him over to the Council of Elders after arresting him. The council, in light of Section 11 of the Frontier Crime Regulation 1901, convicted him with death penalty. In return, the relatives of Dosso filed a petition in the Lahore High Court challenging the relevant provisions of FCR on the grounds that they are repugnant and against the concept of equity before law and equal protection of law, as well as the right to counsel enshrined in Article 5 and 7 of the 1956 Constitution. Surprisingly, the High Court decided in favor of Dosso and declared that the FCR provisions are not compatible with the Constitution of Pakistan, specifically Article 5 and 7. Consequently, the High Court declared the proceedings of the Council as null and void. The problem that arose was that if the FCR provisions were not in line with the Constitution, then will that have a retrospective effect on other previously decided cases too, as its validity was challenged. Following which, the federal government filed an appeal in the Supreme Court against the verdict of the High Court. The Supreme Court was to give a decision on this by 13th October 1958, but amidst of this, on 7th October 1958, Sikandar Mirza imposed a martial law in Pakistan and declared Ayyub Khan as the chief martial law administrator. The status quo changed, the 1956 Constitution was abrogated, and the assemblies were dissolved. The new law that was introduced on 11th October was the Law's Continuance in Force Order 1958, which was a new legal order and replaced the previous law, resulting in the unanimous decision of the Supreme Court regarding the federal government's appeal, which was completely against the verdict of the Lahore High Court, for which the Supreme Court relied heavily on Kelson's theory of legal positivism. Now, what that theory entails was that if there is such a change which the opposition does not resist, that will be deemed a successful revolution. And similarly, the Chief Justice Munir interpreted the martial law of 1958 as legal, alongside declaring that Law's Continuance in Force Order to be the new legal order. Therefore, the decision is quite questionable because A, it legalizes martial law and let a murderer get away scot-free, and B, that would mean that Kelson's theory justifies evil regimes if it declares the Constitution as invalid. However, the silver lining to this is that this case was overruled in the Asma Jalani case, stating that Kelson's theory is not universally accepted, so we are not bound to follow it.